So, today's guest wants to help women accelerate their path to success. You are here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show in episode 778. We're super excited to have hanging out with us in the virtual studio Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. She is president and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Summit. Success Institute. Listen, I got Summit on my mind. That's one of our sponsors, Success Institute. But listen, our topic today is Show Up, Rise Up, a journey to your full potential. Don't you move. You're locked in right here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're going to be right back.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Of course, we are so excited to have those of you that are joining us live, and then certainly those of you that listen to the podcast version. Shout out to you. Listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, y'all are always up there. I cannot leave out Amazon Music, and those that are hanging out with us over on YouTube. Welcome. Listen, subscribe to our channel because I know you like this content, because the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we're going to do just that today. Certainly those that are just on Sharvette.com and you're like, you know what? I just binge listen. I just binge watch. We appreciate you as always. And so let me greet a few people. Listen, hello, YouTube is jumping already. Hey there, Joe, Kim, Deborah, excited. Hey mom, glad to see you. Listen, my mom will always be in the audience. Glad to have you there. And all of those again that are coming on in. And I want to remind you that this segment is being brought to you, sponsored by our 9th annual summit. The Platform Builder Summit is happening in Richmond, Virginia, November 7th and November 8th. We want you to listen, get your plane tickets, get your train tickets, come across town, wherever you're coming from. This summit, the Platform Builder Summit, is for women entrepreneurs. Guys, we're going to do something another time for y'all. Women entrepreneurs and women business leaders. And it's really focused around your marketing and your money. Yes. Marketing and your money and your visibility, all of that wrapped together. So platformbuildersummit.com is where you can jump over. Platformbuildersummit.com is where you can find out more information. And most importantly, we're going to show you a little clip later, like what our past events look like. But most importantly, y'all, early bird ends September 30th. So go ahead and grab your early bird while you can for this 2-day summit, which is an all VIP summit. There are no general admission tickets. It is all VIP. All right. So let's go ahead and get ready to bring our guest up to the mic. Again, we are super excited. The show today, Show Up, Rise Up, a journey to your full potential. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest that's here. Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis is president and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. She is a 22-year retired Army veteran. Thank you for your service. International TEDx speaker and best-selling author of Show Up to Rise Up. She is the creator of Crack the Career Code, host of the Success for Women radio and TV show, and a sought-after career strategist and business consultant. Dr. Lewis helps women advance into the executive roles that they are seeking and wanting to be in, and empowers female veterans to transition into entrepreneurship. Her accolades are many, but they include the prestigious 2025 Top Leaders of Excellence Award from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives and the 2024 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. She's been featured on covers of magazines and quoted in national publications. And now she can add the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show to that. Put your hands together. Coming up live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your platform. It is a pleasure.
Listen, I hear the audience. I hear them. Okay, yes. I hear them. Listen, it is an honor to have you and to chat with you. It's always great when there's someone who is used to being on one side of the mic, and now they are so gracious to be on the other side of the mic. And so I want to absolutely let's jump right on in to this discussion. And so certainly, retired Army veteran. Oh my goodness, thank you for your service. Turn kind of this career strategist and entrepreneur. What motivated you to transition from the military into really empowering women?
Well, I tell you what, after, having been in the military for 22 years, I realized that leadership is it's universal, but women, they often face unique barriers in being seen and being heard and being promoted. So my transition was about using my experience to equip these women with the tools, the strategies, and the confidence they need to lead at the highest level. Because I know when I was in the military and I was being promoted, I had a lot of women coming to me wanting to know, well, how are you getting into these different ranks? Because a lot of units I was in, they were, male dominated units. And so they
Absolutely.
wanted to know, how are you moving up the ranks? They wanted me to look at their promotion packets. They wanted me to do mock interviews with them. So because of that, that's what motivated me to do what I do. I wanted to do it on a large scale to help as many women as I can. Because like they say, you never know who's watching you. I didn't realize people was watching me do what I was doing. And so I just wanted
Goodness.
to help as many women as I could.
And what's so beautiful about that, certainly, transferable skills. And then I'm sure once you even got out of the military and now in the role with entrepreneurship and all of that, you probably are still getting some of the same questions and seeing some of the same things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so best-selling book titled Show Up to Rise Up. And so I'd love to hear just a little like a synopsis of the book, and then what does show up, really kind of mean to you, which is a part of, our topic today.
Well, I wrote the book because, as I said, a lot of women, go through a lot of things in their careers and in business. And I just wanted to let them know that as long as you keep a positive attitude, as long as you keep showing up, as long as you let people know your credentials, your credibility, and don't let them make you feel small or less than or not valued, then you know that you can make it. So what showing up means to me is just being fully present, prepared, and also positioned for opportunities. It's about uh, courage to claim
Mm,
your space, to be visible, and to lean into your strengths without, because if you don't show up, the doors to your next level, they're never going to open up. And
yeah.
so and I tell women all the time, some women, especially I notice in the federal government, when
Mhm.
they're in a position for a while or they're in these GS positions, they feel like if they're in one where there's a grade increase, they feel like it's owed to them. No, it's not. You have to take responsibility for your own career. And so that's what showing up means. It means that you have to be visible and you have to let them know what you know that you know that you know.
All
And
right.
yeah, so when you do that, that will let them know, hey, I'm here. I can do this. I'm capable. So don't overlook me. Claim your space. Be visible. That's what the book is all about.
Claim your space and be visible. How can listeners pick up a copy?
Well, they can get a copy of the book on Amazon, of course. They can put my name in the search box on Amazon and the book will come up, or they can go to my website, which is www.exwsi.com, and click on Success Store, and they'll also be able to purchase the book.
Great. And so it's one thing, I think, to show up, but then we have that piece of rise up, because sometimes people just They show up. They're like, I'm here. And what am I supposed to be doing? What else is next? But then that other piece. And so talk a little bit about the rise ups, that
Mhm.
people need to do.
Well, it's again, it's the same thing. When I'll give you an example. When I was in federal civilian government, I had applied for a position, and it was two men and myself. We applied for the position. Now, I was more qualified than both those men. And the
Mhm.
thing about it is, there was a lady on the interview board who said that, of course, she would back me and everything. So, I felt confident when I walked into that interview.
Like, I got this.
Yes, exactly. That was the attitude I had because I knew I was qualified for the position.
Mhm.
And so, about maybe 3 days, week later, I heard that I didn't get the position. They hired one of the men. And the thing about what really crushed me, I think, was the fact that the man that they hired wasn't even a part of the organization. He was from outside.
Oh, wow.
So he came into the position. He was there maybe 2 months, couldn't hack it, and he left. And so then they came to me and asked me to step into that position. The position now, granted, I should have gotten in the first place because I was more qualified, but they wanted a male in it. So they did. Now I could have said no, I could have thought, you didn't give it to me the first time. I don't want it now. I'm not. But no, I did not. I stepped into that position. And because I did that, to me, that's the example of show up to rise up. Because went on and stepped into that position, it opened doors, greater doors for me to move even higher in my career. And so I always say, had I told them, no, I'm not going to do this, or no, I don't want it at now, I would never have gotten to where I got in my career.
Agitation often signals transition. That's what I always am telling clients. And so, and I think the other part of this, if you're just tuning in, hey, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, episode 778. Our topic, Show Up, Rise Up, a journey to your full potential. So I want to pull in this conversation about potential because perhaps that showing up and rising up is linked to whether someone feels like they have the potential to execute things or really how do people move? What recommendations or advice do you give for people that are like, I'm wanting to move to my full potential?
Well, the thing about that is, and we as women are very bad at doubting ourselves, doubting our abilities and the things that we know we can do. And here's the thing. Men will apply for a position when they have only 60% of the requirements.
Yep.
Women will look at that. I mean, they will look at that same position and think, even though they have more they're more qualified than the man, they'll look at that same posting and say, oh, well, I don't have number 1 or number 2, so I don't think I'm going to apply. See, I remember one time when I was applying for position, I went to one of the leaders in the company. I told them what I was about to do, the position that it was. And this female, and this is why I love working with females. She said to me, she said, let me tell you something. She said, when you apply for that position, you make it sound like you can walk on water. She said, because the purpose is to get into the interview and then you show them what you got, what you're capable of doing. That's what she said to me. And I never forgot those words because not a lot of women in particular will tell another woman that, because a lot of women feel like they can't, when I did my research on, I did research with 20 women in and around the Washington metropolitan area who were in executive level positions. I wanted to find out how they got there, how they stayed there, the obstacles they faced. And one of the things that I found out in that research is that a lot of them felt like they could not pull another woman up because they felt it would be biased. It would make them look like they were too biased as far as women were concerned. If they helped too many women. But here's the thing. Men don't feel like that. It's
not
like
at all.
Not like each other. But if it came to a decision between, helping a male and helping a female up the ladder, they're going to pick that male more times than not. They will help that man up, whether they like them or not. But a female, not so much. And that's, I think,
Mm.
the thing that we have to break that cycle of not of saying, I can't help you, I can't pull. It's always when you get up there, you pull one up with you. That's the way it's supposed to work. I'm not competing against you, I'm working with you. That's the way it's supposed
Amen.
to look at it. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for mentioning that, because certainly there are listeners who are, corporate America moving up the ladder. Then there are listeners who are, and a lot of our listeners who are entrepreneurs and small business owners. And I know that you have certainly trained, and mentored countless, female veterans, and about them transitioning from military service into entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
What are you seeing in that space? So we have the corporate America side, but then now what are you seeing as you're mentoring and coaching women in the space of transitioning to entrepreneurship?
Well, if you're talking about the veterans that's transferring,
Yes.
well, what the thing about veterans when they, transfer or when they leave the military or transitioning out of the military, they tend to feel like they let's put it like this, they underestimate their skills. And
Mm,
so that's what they struggle with, their identity after service. They've been in a uniform for so many years, structured, all, someone telling them
mhm,
when to do this, when to do that, when to get up, when to eat. So shifting from the military structure into civilian leadership roles, like I said, they often underestimate how transferable their skills are. And so what I do is I make it my business to help them to reframe their experience and to
that's good.
step into business. And of course, the executive arena, if they're going to be running an organization, not only just starting their own business, but maybe someone wants them to run their business. So
Mm,
they have to understand, yes, you have that military structure, but remember, you also have skills that go with that structure. And so that's what we have to, help them to understand. And like I said, it's that identity thing. It's like, they relate to the military, so that's stringent,
mm,
yeah, stern. And that's fine. That's good because that gives you it gives you that discipline that you a lot of times that you need. But
mhm.
there are also other skills that you have to lean into also.
Great, 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 great. And so let's circle back to really women. It can be any kind of career, I think, but you created the Crack the Career Code program. And so can you tell us a little bit about that and really how that helps women accelerate their success?
Yeah, the Crack the Career program, it's a signature program that I designed to help women to navigate what you might call the unwritten rules of leadership. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it provides that step-by-step strategies for accelerating into executive roles, from mastering personal branding to building influence and negotiating powerfully. Because one of the things women have to remember is that when you're in an executive position, you also develop a brand. Now, what
yes.
that brand is going to be is up to you, how you present yourself, because you now become a brand.
Yeah.
And that's what I have, I like to let them understand. You're not just there to be the director of whatever. You're
Mm,
the director of whatever, but you're also a brand and people are watching you. And so this is how you have to show up like my brand. And I don't want to do anything to tarnish that brand. But I also want that brand to look good. I want that brand to stand out. I want when people call my name, I want them to attach it or associate it with a certain thing. Yes, if you get her to do it, it's going to be done and it's going to
bingo.
be done right if you put her in charge of that project. You know,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that I want them to see when they
Mm.
step into those executive level arenas.
Yeah, and the brand piece, because some people think when they hear personal branding,
Mhm,
oh, that's just, those that have products or those that have a business.
mhm.
However, we in a corporation, outside of a corporation, in entrepreneur, we all have personal brands, and
Exactly.
especially so those of us that are leaders and those of us that have some area of expertise, because what comes with that brand is the authority and the influence. And
There you
even
go.
if somebody sits back and says, well, I'm not doing the branding thing, actually
Mhm.
you already have a brand, whether you're owning it or whether you're not.
There you go. And I remember, and I'm sure you do too. Remember when Oprah started her magazine, you noticed that the only person was ever on the front cover of that magazine was her,
Bingo. Yeah.
because she wanted to be the face of that magazine.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that. I do that myself. People ask me, "Well, I notice when you post on Facebook or when you do this, you always put your picture." I said, "Yes, because my face is my brand.
Yeah.
I'm the face of my company." And so whenever I do something, then when people see it, I want them to associate that with the Executive Women's Success Institute. And
Yeah.
mhm,
And bingo, there it is. And I do the same. And I tell clients, where do I was just had something on business cards. I put my picture on. You
mhm,
see my picture here on the screen. You see if I have a folder, my picture is on it. It's not
exactly.
narcissistic. It is
Yeah,
branding. It is branding and it's recognizable, right? It's like you see that. Oh, that's Sharvette
I
Mitchell.
mean, when you gonna laugh at this one. When I go to work out in the morning, even my water bottle, I have my sticker on there, and
Yeah,
it's got my logo, my picture, my contact information. So if they pick up that big old water bottle, they're gonna see all my information on there.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's what like you said, I am that brand. I am the face of the Executive Women's Success Institute. So whenever you think about that, I want
Mhm.
you to think Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis.
There you go. There you go. And so you're an international TEDx speaker. And so what was the message when you did your TEDx talks? What was the message that you left with the audience and all that? Give us a sneak peek about that.
That being an international TEDx speaker, believe it or not, that came about so I had not even thought about even doing that. It was someone
Wow.
that came on my show, and I
Mhm.
brought her on the show because she had done one, and her talk had
Mhm.
reached like 3 million people. And I thought, I gotta talk to this lady.
Right.
If she can reach that many people, I need to talk to her to find out what is she saying like that.
Yeah.
And just from our conversation on my show, she went back to Canada because that's where I did my talk. She went back to Canada and she recommended me to come to Canada to do a talk. And then that's how it started. But the message, once I looked into it and really understood what a TEDx talk was, it's like, okay, I want to definitely make sure I get a message out there that resonates. And so the message, or the core message for my TEDx talk, was that women don't need permission to lead. That was it.
Mm.
They only need to own their voice and their value. Um, I wanted them to I wanted to be able to amplify that from that TEDx stage, to reinforce the commitment about creating space for women to rise
Yeah.
energetically. So when I found out that they wanted me to come and do that talk, that's what I sat down to say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure when I give that talk, it resonates, that women can see themselves in it. And that was for me the core message. And like I said, the real core message was that they don't need permission to lead.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Permission slip. You don't need it. You don't need a hall pass. There you go. What can people, when people jump over to executivewomenssuccessinstitute.com, what can they find? How can they connect with you? How can they work with you?
Well, if they go to my website at the Executive Women's Success Institute, or www.exwsi.com, there are a lot of things on there. You will find my coaching programs. You will find Of course, places that I'm going to be, different things that I'm doing, be it a retreat or maybe I'm having a summit. I heard you mention that
Yes.
you're doing a summit not far from my neck of the woods. If you're in
Oh,
Virginia,
come through.
and so, so they will find information on there. I try to put things on there. I have a free download on there that they can free audios that they could get about 3 things every woman should do to position herself for executive leadership. So it's different things on there, different workshops that I have that I do conduct. So, and of course, my Success Bookstore, where all my products are, they'll be able to find those things on there too.
Awesome. And shout out to the LinkedIn audience. Shout out to Instagram audience. We have tagged, and so how can they connect with you on Instagram?
Well, Instagram, they can, again, it's my name, Madeline Ann Lewis. So I guess it would be like you got up there, the @ Madeline Ann Lewis. And just they can, if they have a message for me, they can DM me. Any of the social media sites, they can DM me through those also, as well as the contact form that's on my website.
Perfect. And you did a great segue and talked about your show. So you host the Success for Women radio show, TV show. So how has giving other women a platform to amplify their own message really, help with leadership and empowerment?
Well, to be honest, it's actually given me a global platform to be able to spotlight women leaders. And of course, I've had men on the show, but normally the men that I bring on the show, they can contribute something that will be of value to women. It's always about, getting the ladies prepared, getting them what they need, the resources and everything that they need. But again, like I said, it helps women leaders to be able to share their story of what they're doing, to be able to inspire other women. But the main purpose or the premise of the show is to let women know that there are women out there doing what you might want to do, but you might think, oh, I can't do that. Excuse me. But the thing of it is, yes, you can, because if they can do it, you can do it too. So that's why I have the platform the way it is, bringing on women that are doing different things in their arena, that are experts in their arena, or some that may have even just started out because they're looking at it like, I stepped out to do this because I knew I had the potential to do it. And that's a message in itself, to let women know, hey, well, if they can take a chance, they can take that risk. Well, maybe I could do it too. And that's what I always want them to look at and feel like, I can do it too. If they did it, I can do it too. Nobody's better than you are, as long as you believe in yourself and believe that you can do. So if you do that, then you can do anything you set out to do.
All right. That's good right there. And as we are, I'm telling you, our time flew on by, but as we are wrapping up episode 778, Show Up, Rise Up, A Journey to Your Full Potential. I think what's powerful about interviews and we do similar things, right? Giving people platforms is that to your potential. For some people, they jump right in. Some people, there's like breadcrumbs along the way, or there's steps. And so by hearing other people, or some people might just hear you and your voice was enough to spark and say, you know what, I don't need a permission slip. Let me go. Let me just move. Let me just activate. And so I think that really is that journey to full potential. It might be short for some people. It might be accelerated for some people. Some people, it might take a while, but as long as you make it, right? Yeah.
And women have more in them than they really realize sometimes. They really do. And all you have to do is tap into that. Because my philosophy is, we are the greatest resource on this planet.
Yes.
Women. We are. And all you have to do is remember that you are the greatest resource on this planet.
Absolutely. And the highest resource and asset in your business, if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, and if you're for your department, you're leading a department. So as we wrap, certainly, and I said this at the beginning of the show, that you have a mission, a mantra that you help women accelerate their path to success. And so I'd love to end with maybe 3 practical steps our listeners can, take to move forward with their career or their entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, well, I would say the first one would be to invest in continuous learning. Always sharpen your leadership and business skills,
Yeah.
because things change. I mean, right now, the big thing is AI and all that other stuff. So if you don't know it, don't be afraid of it. Just learn, put your hand in it. You don't have to be an expert at everything, but you should understand how it works or have a little bit of knowledge about it. And the second thing would be to build a strong network. Surround yourself with with people that are mentors and that are allies. That's what you want to do. And then I think the final thing would be to own your personal brand, as we talked about. Be intentional about how you're seen and the value that you bring to the table.
Bingo. There you have it. There you have it. One last time, how can listeners connect with you?
Well, again, they can go to my website, which is www.exwsi.com. There's a contact form on there, or they can email me directly at info@exwsi.com. And again, as I said, I'm on all the social media sites, so they can always DM me, and I do respond to the DMs.
Great, great, great. Last and final question. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. What continues to motivate Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis?
What continues to motivate me is to see another woman who has reached her potential, and she has stepped out and just taken that chance to say, I'm enough. I'm worth it. I'm valued. I can do it. I will do it. And no one will stop me from doing it. That's what motivates me, seeing women reach their full potential.
All right. Well, we can't top that right there. That is awesome. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest. And we
Thank
wish you
you for
much
having
more.
me.
Absolutely. And we wish you much more continued success.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I am telling you what, you might have to go back and listen to this again, wherever you are watching, wherever you're listening. This might be one of those that I need to just let it ring in my ear and as a reminder, right? Or for some of you, you haven't heard it. Listen, hear it again, hear it again. As we always say, check out information about our guests at Sharvette.com, which is our main website. Sharvette.com will give you our guest's full bio, links to everything. If you are listening to the podcast version, look down below in the show notes. Look down below in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, look down below in the show notes. And again, this segment is brought to you by our 9th annual event, the Platform Builder Summit. And I'm telling you what, we are geared up to bring some amazing speakers up to you and for you here in Richmond, Virginia. And so you can jump over to platformbuildersummit.com. If you look down below, wherever you are watching, you should see a link, platformbuildersummit.com. You can go there and see all of our session topics, all of our speakers, their bios, and all of that. Listen, we've got sessions on grants. We have sessions on how to do business with colleges and universities. Of course, your girl is going to make sure you're straight with your branding and your marketing, your visibility. We're going to talk about LinkedIn. We're going to talk about email marketing. We're going to talk about content marketing. And then we got about 35% of this is about money. So about funding, your money talks, all that good stuff. And then we've got some professional development mixed in there, as well as personal development. So listen, I want to see you in Richmond, Virginia. And that's going to be November 7th and November 8th. Platformbuildersummit.com is where you want to go. And early bird registration ends September 30th. So that's when you get the early bird rate. All right, it's a wrap. We're going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.